Please adjust your sitting posture according to the 7 meditative postures of Vairocana. Think, all sentient beings have been my mothers. All sentient beings have been my mothers, not just once, but numberless times. All sentient beings are as kind as my mother in this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness and do not even want a small suffering, due to mistakenly engaging with objects of adoptions and objects of abandonment, they do not experience any happiness but suffering. In our minds, sincerely cultivate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if all mother sentient beings were to have excellent happiness and the causes of excellent happiness that are virtues. May they have excellent happiness and its causes. I will cause them to have excellent happiness and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we cultivate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if all mother sentient beings were free from all suffering and the causes of suffering that are non-virtues. May they be free from all suffering and its causes. I will cause them to be free from all suffering and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we cultivate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves, who should take the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms? I should take the responsibility. Even though I should take the responsibility, I do not have the ability to place them in the state of perfect complete enlightenment now. Who has such ability? Those perfect complete Buddhas have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the precious state of enlightenment. Next, we meditate on emptiness for a short while. The self, and the rgyud neither exists as inherently one nor as inherently different, thus is empty of inherent existence. Set a good motivation. For the sake of all other sentient beings, for the sake of all other sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this, I will listen to the holy teaching and practice properly in order to benefit sentient beings. So we are under the outlines of establishing by illustration the adventitious nature of the three poisons when manifest. So here we are talking about the manifest three poisons. Under this outline, in the simile, under the outlines of simile, there are two verses, 109 and 110. They say, just as the gold of a traveler that has fallen into a filthy, rotten place would not deteriorate for many hundreds of years because of its indestructible nature. And just as a god endowed with the divine eye, upon seeing it, tells a person, purify this supremely priceless gold and craft it into something precious, like a statue of the Tathāgata. So the meaning of this simile is while a man is walking along the road, he accidentally dropped his goal and it falls into a filthy pit or a rubbish dump. And however, this goal never deteriorates and is therefore indestructible. So this goal, even it stays in the filthy pit and then it remains, it will never deteriorate and is therefore indestructible. So it remains unchanged in that filthy spot for many hundreds of years. A god with his divine eye sees it there and says to human, so there is gold there. Then clean these most precious of metals or cleanses a precious substance and then make from it something that should be crafted from precious metal, such as a statue of the Tathāgata. So made something with it, such as craft this gold into a statue of the Tathāgata or use it to eliminate poverty and so forth. So in the same way, the Tathāgata, by teaching Dharma, remove the defilements. Next is meaning. So the first one is simile, and the second one is meaning. So meaning, Geshe-la read this verse together. So similarly, the conquerors see the qualities of the naturally pure basic element in sentient beings sunken into afflictions, which are like filth. And in order to cleanse the mire of afflictions, they let fall rains of sublime Dharma for all beings. So the meaning of this verse is, similarly, the conquerors see in sentient beings the naturally pure basic element. So naturally pure basic element refers to the Tathāgata essence. So as a quality of sentient beings sunk in the filth of afflictions. So the conquerors see that the naturally pure basic element exists in sentient beings and is wrapped in the filth of afflictions, or is covered by the filth of afflictions. So then, in order to cleanse the mire, in order to wash the mud of afflictions, they bring about the rains of Dharma in accord with the realms and thoughts of living beings. Yeah, so in accord with the realms and thoughts of living beings, then you can also understand it as according to the interest of living beings and according to their inclination. And then Buddha teach Dharma according to their inclination, according to their interest, in order to wash away the muds of afflictions, in order to remove all obscuration. nhằm tổ logi nó.
Nhưng mà lâu cái. Đó thì hiện giờ những người mà trong全部运作做上，如果其实现在呢了，现在得到消息，你这呢了确定了的，我确定的是吧？那对了。
So next verse is verse 112, is explanation. So he says, just as a god seeing gold dropped into a filthy, rotten place, earnestly shows its supreme beauty to humans so that they might completely clean it. In the same way, the conquerors see in sentient beings the precious essence of complete Buddhas, fallen into the filth of afflictions, and teach them the Dharma in order to purify that basic element. So here is under the outlines of explanations or extensive explanations. So the meaning, the point that it indicates is the same as before. 장가구.
장가구 지구에서 나서 가지는 장가구를 잔다 다고 할 수도 있는 가시라. 좀 가시라 되게 해야 그들은 또 주세요. 아니 근데 유자가 거든. 유주다로.
지구 가나 있는데 심징이 되더라.
심징이 된다. 장가구를 잡아 있는 지구들하고. 내가는 세편에 칸솔라 지와서 내가는 세편에 칸솔라 지와서 수칸에 세편에 칸솔라 지와서 주메칸에 세편에 칸솔라 지와서 무엇이 되다. 장가구자리.
고이나 대 끼와 고래.
끼와 장가구라잖아 두스리에서.
야야송로는 고디.
내반에 세편에 칸솔라 지와서
되바네
세편에
추
세편에 신에
세편에
세편에 칸솔라 지와서
세편에 함숨라
지와서 주칸에 세편에 칸솔라 지와서
수칸네 세편에
칸솔라 지와서 수메칸에 세편에 칸솔라 지와서 지와서 대리소서 지와고 장가구라 잡아이나 딜자 되고래 되게 장가구라 지워대 지구를 해서는 내려와다 하나 지구에서 지구 나와서 될 지구스는 맞아
끼와고 수수 끼와고로
지와고래 니가 장가구라 많이 봐 지구스나 다스도 지구 너무 많아 지구 그 단다들
라가다 가셔도 고이나 대한 셈제로
네, 뭐 신제레스 다 지와고래 그 신제레스 다 지와고래 들어와 지구 대화를 했어 먼저 또 가기는 그거 몰라야지 장가구라 저리 뜻들만 그냥 더 주세요 뭐야
함숨라 끼와 숨라 tree. Okay. So regarding these words, all beings. So here, beings or sentient beings. So they are following different Tibetan texts. Then there are different spelling for these words. So one spelling is one spelling then can be translated as 9. So that means that there are 9 types of ordinary beings or 9 types of sentient beings, and another spelling can be translated as just sentient beings. So if follow the text that uses the word 9 types of sentient beings or 9 types of ordinary beings, then these 9 types of ordinary beings refers to those ordinary beings who are born in 3 realms after the transmigrations, after transmigrating from the desire realm. And the second one is the 3 ordinary beings born in 3 realms after transmigrating from the form realm. And then the third set is 3 ordinary beings born in 3 realms after transmigrating from formless realms. So 3, 3, 3, then it becomes 9. So then these 9 types of ordinary beings or 9 types of sentient beings refer to these 3 sets or these 9 types of ordinary beings. So if follow the text that use the word another spelling, then it can be translated as sentient beings. So whether you use the word 9 types of ordinary beings or sentient beings, they both refer to the ordinary beings or refer to sentient beings. So the meaning basically refers to sentient beings.
다早落出来，等于干啥是吧？早落出来，到我落出来哇。다 간다 이제 놓쳐 들어와 당아서 이래 된다 월데 제가 진지 주의 나나 그러니까 다이 본전 잡으러 좋아 진지 주의 나나 그러니까 간다 괜히 나만 혼 됐지 좋아 센 하이 미긴 통화 중에 좀 그도 봐 세대 다바 샤이 시도 초는 집에 세대 밀라 봐 니디기는 때 말이야 봐 니들아 아 니디기 들어와 나 니디봐 니디기는 때 봐다도 와나 때 봐다도 얘 나시 그 대기도 그 제이고 다 제이니 뭐뭐정 와 뭐뭐정 첨부 네 통화 지게 다做的上去다 뭐정你们能都那个的이거 신이 뭐 들어와 뭐뭐봐 뭐뭐정 첨부 첨부了 통화 지做的上去你뭐是的들어와 다 뭐뭐 또 뭐 돼 그래서 뭐 지기 와 뭐지 세계 당 세계 나라 다 여바 신이 세계 당진 여바 신이 또 뭐뭐 되다 봐 다바 샤이 시 그러와 뭐뭐 다바 샤이 시 유진 그거 세계 나라 그 당비 취对嘛？也是，那比较那高的，参考去确定嘛，也是的话，都得讲的。
So to explain this verse 112, then we go to extra notes. So the meaning is similar to previous verse. So it says, just as a god who has seen gold dropped amidst a filthy, rotten place, honestly shows this supremely beautiful fine gold to humans in order to completely cleanse the defilements. And similarly, so here is the simile, and then the next part is the meaning. So similarly, the conquerors see within sentient beings the precious essence of the complete Buddha. So the precious essence of the complete Buddha refers to Sukkata essence. So the conquerors see that the precious Sukkata essence exists within sentient beings, which has fallen into the vast field of the afflictions. And in order to cleanse the afflictions, then the conquerors teach sublime Dharma to embodied beings.
무치 지다 루 치나 싸워나 메세바이 때문에 요지라 미데 때문에 히데 때데양 게라 난데 요지 너무 따라서 와 어떤데 배치고 들어와 뭐 배치고 들어와 시도
Go back to root text, verse 113. So here is under the outlines of establishing by illustration the adventitious nature of the imprints of ignorance. So the imprints of ignorance also refers to the grounds of the imprints of ignorance. So we have gone through this just now. It was under the outlines of manifest through poisons, right? So referring to the table. Now, then we go to the next one, which is the grounds of the imprints of ignorance. So under this outline, then again is simile. Verse 113, it says, just like an inexhaustible treasure lies in the earth under the house of a poor man, but he doesn't know of it, and the treasure does not announce itself with, here I am. So the meaning of this 113 is, so just as an inexhaustible treasure of resources lies underground in the house of a poor man, but he doesn't know about it. So he doesn't know that there is an inexhaustible treasure of resources lies underground in his house. And the treasure doesn't say, I'm here. So this is the simile. And then the meaning will be explained in verse 114.
we doing no more did the Jigo didn't say. But that is a show of Chingua.
Meaning, verse 114, it says, similarly, as the precious treasure enclosed within the mind by nature free from defilement, with neither the two kinds of selflessness to be established nor the two selves to be refuted, is not realized. All these beings continuously experience many forms of the suffering of poverty.
다 대낭신이로 다 대낭시 다 이진양도로 다 이진양도 지비 다 도스 인데기 때다 장이지 주마메지 샤바도 싸와서 주마메가 싸와서 다 주마메 봤어야 아 다미니나 맞아 맞다 좋아 주마메지 있어 주마메지 샤바당서
장신기 주마메지
장이지 주마메지 다 간다 안사게 다도 매바도 취지 다도 매바서 나가서 진짜 대신이 뭐들 나 대신이 뭐라고 와 대신이 뭐들 나 니에 오라 간다 안사게 다도 매바다 취지 다도 매바서 니에 오라 다 다음에 봐 그만 장이 주마메 때 다음에 봐 니다 안사 다음에 봐 니와 다음에 봐 니다
장신기 주마메세야 돼 강사기 다음에당 취기 다음에로
취지 다음에니 와 다음에니 샤고다 된다데 주마메비 다음에니스로 와 주마메지 다음에니 샤바다 하서와 그 다음에니 다음에 봐니 내 간다 다 세와당세 간다 세와들이 사도파 사도 랑지 주바데파 사와서 사도 주바 랑지 사와 그 랑지 지미비 춘이장 아도 예세 별로도 다 다니 사도 심지 탄지기 질라 간다 데리고 요레세고 간사게 다음에 봐도 취지 다음에 봐니 요레스 예 요레 다음에니 사도 샤바케 마레스 사도 샤바케 마레스 예 사도 샤바 마임바 소다 토마미가 요르로라다 된다 데로와 신직지라 이 다음에니 사도 샤바케 마레 토마미가 요레스 요레스와 사도 샤바 마레스 그 다니 바 사도 사바케 마 사도 까바케 마레스 간다 사와서 까바르와 바자데 까바르와 사도 까바다 사도 바 까바케 마레스 와 마레스 그 정말 집이 되니 정말 집이다 얘기니 들어와 나 정말 집이 되니데 나 동계로와 다음에 취지 다음에 간다 다음에 니어와 나한테 정말 집이 되니데 그 장기라 여봐 마도요 말해서 장기라 여봐 마도네 마도나 그 장기라 여봐 때 마도나 그 답이데 이 동안 그 대마도나 내가서 다음에 대마도 공항기 내가서 다 동항기 마음봉 진거 무도 와 맞어 다음에 또나 다 동에다 더 제도요 와 다음에 매번 이 다음에 대화시면 님보다 또 봐이나 다 동에다 저희 때 싸워대 뽀두요 와 님데 뽀두요 와 대리 짜이 동에 용이 때 싸워 님무데 뽀 두나 때 동에 용 말와 되게 용 말에 다 대나기 대마도나 때 답이 되게 위 때 동안은 너무 뭐 진다 용을 해서 와 대마도나 때 동안 뭐 진다 용을 해서 때 용에 당하고 지고 들어와 용을 해서 때 동안이다 때 너무 그 파사이 시도 때 상지 존에 되게 지대는 중에 때 칠 때마다 그 용을 해서 와 상지 지대는 전에 때 누가나 칠 때는 해서 다 어디들 어디가다 다민이라 봐자다 다민이를 쓰대 간다 너도 쉬어도 대신이 뭐랑 하네 대신이 뭐들 봐 너무 봐 샤오디 취지 다음에 간다 다음에 니레와
So the meaning of this verse is, similarly, in the minds of sentient beings lies the lies the potential for every excellent quality, a precious treasure, which by nature is free from defilement, where the two kinds of no self are not newly established and the two kinds of self are not newly negated. So not newly established here refer to the two kinds of selflessness to be established, nor refuted. So refuted refers to the two kinds of self are not newly refuted. So neither the two kinds of selflessness to be established, nor the two selves to be refuted. It is so when this is not realized, or as long as this is not realized, refer to the Sukkata essence. As long as the Sukkata essence is not realized, all these beings continuously experience many forms of the sufferings of poverty. So here it says, Yeah. So here it says a precious treasure which by nature is free from defilement. So here, free from defilements, this precious treasure which by nature free from defilements refers to the undefiled two selflessnesses. Refers to the undefiled two selflessnesses. So where the two kinds of self. So then, in brief, this precious treasure, which by nature is free from defilement, in brief, it refers to Tathāgata essence. If expanded or if divided, then it can be divided. It can be divided into the selflessness of person and the selflessness of phenomena. So therefore, this precious treasure, which by nature is free from defilements, it refers to the two selflessnesses, which is undefiled, which are undefiled, or the undefiled two selflessnesses. And then it says, with neither to be established nor refuted. So with neither the two kinds of selflessnesses to be newly established, as it says here. So where the two kinds of no self, so in other words, the two selflessnesses are not newly established, and the two kinds of self, so here it refers to the two two kinds of Yeah. So here it says, so the two kinds of self are not newly negated. So the two kinds of self, then in general, the self of person and self of phenomena. So these two kinds of self are not newly negated. So what these selflessness or the negations of self or the establishments of selflessness, here we are not talking about realize the selflessness through negating the two kinds of self. Here we are talking about the basic element, which is the Tathāgata essence, is naturally free of defilements, and this naturally free of defilements, in which, or in this natural free of defilements, in which the two selflessness are not newly established and the two selves are not newly negated. So here are describing the Tathāgata essence itself, the basic element itself, which is naturally free of defilements. This reality with defilement existing within one's continuum is not seen. So sentient beings having this Tathāgata essence or having this basic element, however, we do not realize that we have this Tathāgata essence, and therefore these beings must experience continuously, and in many ways the sufferings of being deprived of the happiness of liberation. So to dispel such suffering, the Buddha appears in the world.
那大家个也因确定一些青年生前呢，无不大部的是，也到那么的也都相信决定的长寿养到当人者，我的在学了个你对吧？学了个记了，
学了个记，
我学了个记的。
So next verse is 115. It's under the outlines of explanation is similar. The meaning is similar to the previous verse. Similar to previous verse. So he says, just as a treasure that lies buried under the house of a poor man does not announce itself to him with, here I am, and he is not aware of it. Likewise, the Dharma treasure abides in the house of the mind, and sentient beings who are like the pauper are unaware of it. In order for them to attain the Dhammakaya, the great sage was born in the world. So within the house of a poor man lies a precious treasure, but the treasure does not announce its presence to him by saying, here I am, and he is therefore unaware of its existence. So it's similar to, the meaning is similar to previous verse. So it talks about the poor man, so there is a precious treasure lies underground in the house of a poor man, but the poor man doesn't know about its existence, and the treasure does not announce itself that I'm here. So the second part of this verse 114, because 115, then is the meaning of the simile. Is the meaning which is the part of this is the meaning that this simile is trying to illustrate. Sorry. So he says, similarly, sentient beings in whose house of the mind lies the treasure of qualities. The treasure of qualities refers to Tathāgata essence, and are like poor men. So are like poor men refers these sentient beings who doesn't realize the Tathāgata essence in them are like poor men. So in order for them to attain this spiritual endowment, so in order for them to attain the Dhammakaya, or the truth body, the sage performed 12 deeds, such as the perfect body of the perfect complete Buddha being born in the world, teach Dharma and so forth, in order for sentient beings to attain the Dhammakaya, or the truth body.
주희기 저기 누구 린진 좀 따라서 다들 실로가 지다 뭐 빼리 마시고가 다다 뭐 빼리와.
Next outline is establishing by illustration the advantageous nature of path of seeing and path of meditation abandonments. So here, it talks about the objects of abandonment of the path of seeing. So under this outline is simile, verse 116, it says, just as the seed within the fruit of a mango or similar tree has the indestructible potential of becoming a seedling, and relying on plowed earth and water will gradually grow into a majestic tree. So explain this verse 116. It says, just as a sprout exists within a seed coat of a mango, within the seed coat of a mango, the quality possessor that is indestructible by causes, together with plowing and water, will gradually develop into the quality of the king of trees in the future. So here, just as a sprout exists within a seed, such as a seed of a mango, the quality possessor that is indestructible by causes. So the quality possessor refers to the seed that is indestructible by causes. For example, the seed is not burned by fire, or the seed is not rotten, and etc. So the seed has the ability to produce sprout. So that is what it means by the quality possessor that is indestructible by causes. Causes are unconducive. These causes refer to unconducive conditions, such as being burned by fire or is not fresh anymore. So the seed itself is rotten, and etc. So the quality possessor, seed, that is indestructible by causes, refers to those unconducive conditions. So together with plowing and water, those conducive conditions, then it will gradually develop or grow into the quality of the king of trees in the future. Point 17, under the outlines of meaning, it says, so also within the skin of the fruit of ignorance and so on of sentient beings lies the virtuous Dhamma Dhatu, and similarly, by relying on virtue, the basic element will gradually transform into the essence of a majestic conqueror. So the meaning of this verse 117, extra notes, it says, just like a tree, the virtuous basic element, which is the Tathāgata essence, then is the quality within the skin of fruits, such as ignorance and ignorance in sentient beings, relying on conditions that awaken the lineage, will gradually develop into the quality of a subduer Buddha. So the basic element, virtuous basic element, then which is the quality within the skins of fruits, such as ignorance in sentient beings, then those persons who wants to awaken, who are interested in awakening the lineage, relying on conducive conditions, then this virtuous basic element will gradually develop into the quality of a subduer Buddha. So the quality of a subduer Buddha refers to Dhammakaya, or truth body. So in the root verse, it says, virtuous Dhammadhatu. So this virtuous Dhammadhatu, or virtuous basic element, so it is called virtuous because it is a virtuous object of observation. So the Tathāgata essence is said to be virtuous because it is a virtuous object of observation. So so because it is a virtuous object of observation, right? So it is the objects of observation of the non-conceptual exalted wisdom directly realizing the Tathāgata essence. So because it is an object of observation of the non-conceptual exalted wisdom directly realizing the Tathāgata essence, so therefore it is called virtuous. Yeah, so the Tathāgata essence is said to be virtuous because it is a virtuous object of observation. So it is a virtuous object of observation because this Tathāgata essence is the objects of observations of a non-conceptual exalted wisdom, directly realizing the Tathāgata essence. So therefore, is called or is labeled as virtuous. So verse 118. So it's explanation. Verse 118, it says, the condition. Okay, so just as by way of the conditions of water, sunlight, air, earth, time, and space, trees grow from within the peels of the mango and coconut fruits. Similarly, the seed and sprout of complete enlightenment, enclosed within the peels of sentient beings' afflictions, through the conditions of such and such virtues, will so here will increase the realizations of Dharma. So so the Dharma or the quality will dawn and increase. So will increase the realizations of Dharma. It can also be translated as it will cause the Dharma or cause the quality to dawn and increase. So with the right conditions of water, sunlight, air, earth, and time, and with space, providing the opportunity for growth. The seeds contained within the skins of the mango and pomira fruits grow into trees. So with the conditions of water, so water, sunlight, air, and earth refers to the four elements. So with a seed with the right conditions of water, so the water provide moist, the sunlight, which is the elements of fire, then it provides warmth, and it also ripens the seed into results. And air, so air or wind. So with the conditions of air or wind, then the seed will not rot, and earth serve as the base for this seed to grow into to produce the sprout. And time and with space provides the opportunity for growth. And then the seeds contained within the skins of the mango and pomira fruits, and then it will grow into trees. So this talks about the conditions, the conducive conditions for a seed to produce a sprout. So then the first four refers to the four elements. Similarly, with the right conditions such as the virtues of listening, contemplation, and meditation, and the practice of six perfections such as generosity, the seed of a perfect Buddha, which is naturally pure, or the natural purity of the mind. So the seed of a perfect Buddha, the natural purity of the mind, refers to Tathāgata Essence, or the Tathāgata Essence. So within the skin of the fruit-like afflictions of sentient beings, so it's contained within the afflictions, or is covered by afflictions, it will sprout and develop into the Mahāyāna Dharma. So here it says, will dawn and increase the Dharma, right? So will dawn or will cause to come out, will cause to come out or will dawn and increase the Dharma. So it means that here it says it will sprout. So will sprout or will dawn or will come out or will appear or will manifest. So here it refers to the the realization that the real so will sprout here refers to the path of seeing. So the path of seeing is the realization that newly and directly realize the Tathāgata essence. So it will sprout. Here it says will dawn and increase the Dharma. So will dawn or will sprout refers to path of seeing. So where one newly and directly realize the Sukata essence. And then it will developed or it will increase the Dharma. So it increase here refers to the path of meditation. So path of meditation where you increase your realization by familiarizing what you have already realized. So you increase your realization. So you increase your realizations with what has already been realized, and there it will continue to grow and become a Buddha. Then this part refers to the path of normal learning. So one will become a Buddha. So here will sprout, will increase, and it will grow and become a Buddha. Here it refers to the three paths: path of seeing, path of meditation, and path of normal learning.
我也当然是同胞的差不是吧？同胞路被大国防路过被定吧的多，同胞路过被定吧是吧？当然这个被子教的我说被子哪不通过的，哪不通的，我说同胞的公胞的，说刚才个人吧就都被子嘛哪不教的嘛，当然说我感觉直播的吧，七八万不有的，你7万人是吧？那被子嘛，那被子下的基本上都下午到场上，下午的嘛都，也人吧就人家里经理呀。 帮助给学了，公报的，大把啥了？你个直播的，马大把啥的直播的，帮助的，都是这个直播的，但我感觉直播的，忙着啊，是你们还得讲，对的嘛，但你找不忙不了是吧？别想是吧？我得提起是吧？
So next outline is establishing by illustration the advantageous nature of path of meditation abandonments. So another translation for this is the objects of abandonment of the path of meditation. So we have just talked about the objects of abandonment of the path of seeing. So the next outline is the objects of abandonment of the path of meditation. So objects of abandonment of path of meditation. So here you look at the explanations or the wordings, and it may sound very similar to each other. And however, the meaning that it illustrates, we should understand the meanings that it illustrates. So it links to or it connects to respective obscurations. So and the obscurations that it illustrates, then there is a much difference when we are practicing on the path. So the obscurations, the respective obscurations when you are on certain levels, such as path of seeing, path of meditation, and so forth. So, and these obscurations or these defilements, they are different, such as the defilements which refers to the the objects of abandonment of the path of seeing, and or the objects of abandonment of the path of meditation. It refers to those based on the pure grounds, the defilements based on the pure grounds, and the defilements based on the impure grounds, and so forth. So next verse is verse 119 under this outline. Similarly, it says, a statue of the Tathāgata made of precious jewels is wrapped in tattered, foul-smelling robes. A god, having seen it lying on the road, makes it known to passerby, so that it might be rescued. So the meaning of this verse 119 referred to extra notes. It says, just as a statue of the conqueror made of precious jewels is wrapped in smelly rags and a god sees it lying on the road. So a god with pure divine eyes see it lying on the road and tells the one seeking it in order to free it from the rags. So in order to free from the rags, if it lies on the road and no one knows about it, then there is a danger that people will cross over will cross over that statue, right? So here the statue of the conqueror. So in order to free it from the rags, then the god with pure divine eyes see it and then tells the one seeking it that the conqueror statue is here. Verse 120. The one endowed with unobstructed vision sees the Tathāgata essence covered in a multitude of afflictions, even in animals, and so, for the sake of liberation, shows the method. So the meaning of this verse 120, it says, similarly, the Buddhas with their unobstructed vision see that since beginningless time, suchness with defilement, whose nature is whose nature is no different to the phenomenon of a Tathāgata, exists even in animals. So the Buddhas, with their unobstructed vision, sees that even in animal beings sees the existence of Tathāgata essence in animal beings, even in animal beings. And then for the sake of liberation. So for the sake of liberation means that in order to free it from afflictions, in order to liberate those sentient beings, or in order to free it from afflictions, then the Buddhas teach various methods, or turn the three wheels of Dharma, which can be summarized as the paths of the three lineages. So the Buddha teach various methods, or turn the wheel of Dharma 3 times, in order to liberate those sentient beings, or in order to free the Tathāgata essence from afflictions. Explanation, verse 121, it says, just as one with the divine eye sees the image of the Tathāgata, precious by nature, wrapped in foul-smelling robes, lying on the road, and shows it to people so that they might rescue it, likewise, the conqueror sees that the basic element, wrapped in the tattered robes of afflictions and lying on the road of samsara, exists even in animals, and teaches the Dharma so that they might be liberated. So verse 121, the first 2 lines. So just as a statue of the Tathāgata, precious by nature, is wrapped in smelly rags and lies on the road, so a God with his pure divine eye sees it and points it out to people in order to free it. So in order to free the statue of the Tathāgata from the smelly rags. Similarly, the basic element, the Tathāgata essence, is wrapped in rags of afflictions and lies on the road of samsara. So lies on the road of samsara means it exists in the minds of samsaric being. Then the conqueror sees it even in animal beings and teaches Dharma in order to free it from afflictions.
这种咱们这个
继续提咯。
没错。
Verse 1 to 2. So verse 1 to 2 is under the outlines of establishing by illustration the adventitious nature of the defilements found in the impure and pure levels. First, we are going to talk about impure levels. So the defilements based on the impure levels. So under this outline, the division is simile, and under this division is verse 1 to 2. It says, just as an unsightly woman, vulnerable and residing in an unprotected dwelling, holds in her womb a glorious king, but is unaware of the Lord of humans within her. So a poor and ugly pregnant woman is staying alone in an unguarded house or in an unprotected house, so where there is no one helps her, no one helps her, and although her womb, although she carries a glorious universal emperor, so in other words, a glorious universal, as a wheel-turning king, she carries a glorious wheel-turning king in her womb, but she's unaware of it. But she's unaware of it, or she's unaware of this Lord of Man is within her. So, so if this pregnant woman knows that she's carrying a glorious wheel-turning king, so this wheel-turning king is carries a great wealth, has great power, has great ability, and so forth. So if this pregnant woman knows that she's carrying a glorious wheel-turning king in her womb, then she will feel confident, right? And if others knows that she is carrying a wheel-turning king in her womb, then others will also help her, right? However, so this pregnant woman, neither this pregnant woman nor others knows about this glorious wheel-turning king in her womb. So neither the pregnant woman nor others know about the existence of a wheel-turning king in her womb. So and then meaning in verse 1 to 3, it says, likewise, birth in samsara is like the unprotected house. Impure sentient beings are like the pregnant woman. The undefiled basic element is like the king abiding within her. Those endowed with such will have protection. Kim sẽ đến旅店人。
이게 미 치데, 와, 시바 진치는, 이게 미 치지데, 마다비, 얘나히, 마다비, 생체, 나다 디비, 메나, 시로와, 나다 디비, 메나 시, 저비, 메테 페나 카, 다 콜로지 저거다 때문에 시로고라, 다 메디 여바 마시바와, 그런 군자 전부지 여러데 여바 신고만. 메디라 간다, 군게 정기지 이거 전부지 여러데 그런 메디 신고 말이서고라. 군게 여러스. 군자 이거 전부지 여러데 그런 신고요 말이서고라. 여바도 거 콜로지 저거 비어봐. 그 군자 여러와. 여러데 신고 말이서고라. 또 마시바 니 대기도 내 강나 여기서나 땅 거기다 집이 랑이지 주만에 칸데 내 강다 시바지와 소리 시비지 시바서 열에서 또 시바라마 얘네게 신제지가 열에서 또 열에데 또 고속이 돼 여바다 마도 하마고 대왕게 때 등이 온도 그랬어 대왕게 등이 온도 그랬어 또 하마고 봐 또 분명히 그런 때 누나는 마당 콜로지 잡고 열에데 그거 냥타 쪼고 등이 온게 여바 하마고 냥도 그러와 이 여바 그런 거저도 열에데 여바 하 그거 말이 하마고 때 등이 온도 와. 다 대낭시 예간다 시발라마 지니 시시다. 저번에 대낭시 그런 뒤라때 되게 시발의 도시 타디 열에서 시발의 도시게 타 나나메 바디 열에데 때 여바다 하마고 여바데 마도 때 대왕게 레닝에도 주네 등이 나오는 거랬어. 등이 나오는 거랬어. 대다들.
So the meaning of this verse 1, 2, 3, extra notes. He says, similarly, birth in samsara is like an unprotected place. So birth in samsara also refers to this because the support of this basic, the support of this body. So this bodily support, they are referred to this bodily support, which is the basis of experience, the basis upon which experience samsaric suffering. So birth in samsara refers to this bodily support upon which experience samsaric suffering. So it is like an unprotected place, and impure sentient beings are like the pregnant woman. So impure sentient beings are like the pregnant woman. So just like this pregnant woman who doesn't know that she's carrying a glorious wheel-turning king in her womb. So similarly, impure sentient beings impure sentient beings do not know that they are having this Tathāgata essence within them. So the method to freedom from samsaric existence. So impure sentient beings do not know about the existence of this Tathāgata essence. The method to freedom, the method to free them from samsara existence. So the naturally undefiled basic element is like the king inside her womb. So it's the naturally undefiled basic element. So the basic element is like the wheel-turning king inside her womb. Yet these impure sentient beings do not know about it, do not know about the existence of it. So whoever has it has protections. So wherever sentient beings has the Tathāgata essence, and then they have the protection. It's just that they do not aware that they have this protection, the method to freedom from samsara existence. Because of not knowing it, therefore they experience all sorts of suffering in samsara.
이런 말로 대신 대기 따라 대기 따라 나는 왜 주장 그멜로디 바스 누가 너무 어디 이마 휴 등이 실은 예세 어디 주로 같이 와
Verse 1 to 4. Under the outlines of explanation, verse 1 to 4, it says, just as a woman of unappealing form, dressed in stained clothing, lives in an unguarded place, experiencing great suffering, even though she bears a lot of the earth in her womb, similarly within sentient beings, there is a protector, but beings nonetheless abide in a state of suffering. Their unprotected minds being restless by the force of afflictions.
다들 결마 아무 그 마시고와 앞에도 기타 분위기가 정말 집이 그 계획이 모두 비슷하다. 이게 사다 나는 내자 당근이 컴바가 되게 초용화 따라서 와 당근이 컴바다 되게 용화 따라서 다들 기타 지시를 막 디디디로서 지시를 했잖아 집으로 보내도 다들
지차상식인데.
다들 뭐 아무튼 그 맞지라잖아.
그렇죠. So an ugly woman wearing old worn-out clothes carries a lot of the earth in her womb, but she doesn't know it, and living in an unguarded place, she suffers greatly. So the meaning is similar. So here, this the first two lines is the simile.
다 대지들와 다 한게 나나니 님보 공고 다 생기 나나니 님보 공고 여바 저장하세 다 대화시 님보 여장하고 다 대들어와 우리 여바 저장 단 그에게 노다 된바 단 로와 신지 녀무 왕기 녀무 왕기 다 이녀와 마셔 한게 신지 녀와 쉬마 되고 노와 녀무 왕기 다 이녀와 마셔 다 등에지 과라 녀와 해세 다 간다 녀무 왕기 다 한게 신지 쉬마 되게 녀무디 쉬마 되게 이 녀무 대왕이 다 간다 과라 녀와 해세
có mê bị lô ra there. Có mê bị lô thằng tiền bảo sẽ there, right?
그 그거는 로다 대바로 다들 이게 니니게 들어와 님보 여봐 저장 단 게임을 로다 대바스나 단 로와 신지 녀무 왕도니 들어와 녀무 왕도니 게임을 로다 대바 단 로와 신지 녀무 왕기 예세 녀무 왕 그런 신지도 마시와 예 왕기 다 동아시 이제 과라 내 말. 예세 와 녀무게 마시 왕기 이제 과 동아 내 말에 마도 녀무 신앙 구이 동아 내 말와 내 말와 뭐데 예 왕기 다 녀무게 왕기 다른 게 이제 신지도 마시와 마시 대진지 동아지 시 과라 내 말에 예세 그다들
So this the second part of this verse 1 to 4, the meaning referred to extra notes. He says, similarly, the protection of the essence exists within myself. So the protections of the essence refers to the Tathāgata essence or the Subbhāta essence exists within myself, but I have a mind that is unprotected. So I have a mind that is unprotected means that my mind has come under the control of afflictions. Then the minds of sentient beings are completely unpacified due to afflictions. It's because of afflictions, the continuum of sentient beings are completely unpacified and therefore dwell in samsara, the basis of suffering. So because the mind is unpacified, therefore one dwells in samsara. If the minds of sentient beings are pacified, then one will not dwell in samsara. Verse 1 to 5. Verse 1 to 5 is under the outlines of establishing by illustration the adventitious nature of the defilements found in the pure levels. So the defilements based on the pure grounds. So those defilements are adventitious, and it established that with illustration. So under this outline is verse 1 to 5. It says, just as having seen a flawless statue cast in gold inside a clay mold, the gold pure but the outside in the nature of clay. Those who understand this remove the outer contaminants in order to purify the gold therein.
다 빼대 간다 지단 누구나 기타 지단 짐바로 하는 짐바 난 집이나 간다 세슈마네 시비 디시 구조 와 디시 구조 얘랑 제바 들리지 다 요르세고라 구조 얘랑 제바지 안다 당시라 야메 바지 와 야 시와지 당시가 야 요마로 야 시고마로 야 메바 시로베 당시지 통일와 당시라 야 요마레 안다 얘랑 제바지 this 죄의 가스나 시로지 사이랑시데 사이랑시는 짐바 들어와 시로지 사이랑시지 짐비기 또 요와 통 요 들어와 짐바 되게 요 들어마도 그런 거 랑시라 야 요 말했어 그와 랑시라 야 요 말했어 짐비기 요와 통네 대시바다기 대시오디 대시바다기 너기 세티바 아짜마서에 체도 시로지 남바테파 세와치를 했어 와 세티 잠시도 다 세티 가는 바 짜마서에 체도 세티 바 짜마서에 이제 들에도 세티 좀 장이시도 너다 그저 내가 내가 되어도 세티 좀 장이시 시고지 디바스가 시로게 남바서 와 아니 짐바도 짐바도 파세니 짐바도 파세니 다 간다 세티수 하다 오요와 뭐 디치 세티 좀 장이시 시고지 디바 파세와 시바다라세 다 빼와
Verse 1 to 5. Extra notes. It says, just as an excellent complete statue made of molten gold inside a clay mold. So a complete statue means that this Buddha statue is whose limbs or whose parts are complete and is made of molten gold and is inside a clay mold, and it is naturally free of sediments. Naturally free of sediments. Those who see the outer nature. So this part. So see that. Having seen the outer. See. You see. Yeah. So just as an excellent complete statue made of molten gold inside a clay mold, naturally free of sediments, and having seen the outer clay mold, so the statue made of molten gold is inside the clay mold, right? So having seen that it is covered by the outer clay mold, so in order to remove this outer covering, then removes the obscurations or remove the outer obscurations. So this part then I will edit again. So, but the meaning is having seen the here is talking of, here is the part of simile. So he's talking about having seen that this this Buddha statue made of molten gold is within the outer layer of clay mold. So in order to remove this clay mold, so then so in order to free it, in order to take this in order to take this Buddha statue out, or to in order to take this statue made of golden mold out, then remove the outer covering of clay. Verse 1 to 6, under the outlines of meaning together. Likewise, seeing that the stains covering the clear light nature are adventitious, like the clay mantle of the precious gold, sentient beings, through purifying the defilements, attain supreme enlightenment.
Resa, that Digi Tuma, Nanowa, in Basiderwa, to me, Digi Tuma to Palowa, this city around Resa, senior. There's Sanji, consider around Resa, Sanji, Taya, but you will use it. That's which you need to that, and then Duana, Dua Sinjena, that Dipalia, die to join Chedo, that Dobby Shanju, Dobby Shanju, but you took about to be treated by yes, that got a tissue treatment by his law. Chanju Taban Dejua, Duana, that Dipalia Joan Z, Dipalia Joan, Taba Dechido, that Chanju, you are Chanju Chotamba, Chanju Choda, Tabani Toba, that Tabani the Mother, and warning, warning, another warning to each other. Tabani, put it up and I'm warning. Taban, Chanju Cho, Tabani did Toba Shashido, Zevarista, and that did what Dipani Joan Cheto.
Seeing that the defilements covering the clear light nature of the mind are adventitious, so the Buddha has cleared away all obscuration from sentient beings who are like sources of great wealth, in that they are basis for the development of the limitless Buddha qualities and bring them to the attainment of supreme enlightenment. So and then bring them to the attainment of supreme enlightenment. So refer to extra notes. So he says, similarly, the Buddha see the mind as naturally luminous and defilements as merely adventitious. So Buddha see the minds of sentient beings as naturally luminous and the defilements are merely adventitious. So the Buddha teach Mahāyāna Dharma for supreme enlightenment in order to cleanse sentient beings who are like the source of precious jewels from obscurations. And so in order for sentient, so Buddha teach Mahāyāna Dharma to sentient beings in order for sentient beings to attain the supreme enlightenment, possessing the two purities. So supreme enlightenment possessing the two purities refers to nature truth body. So in order for sentient beings to attain the nature truth body, Buddha teach Mahāyāna Dharma. Verse 127. Explanation. Just as a goldsmith astutely perceives the undefiled peaceful nature of a shining golden statue fixed inside a clay mold and removes the clay from it, so too the omniscient one, knowing the peaceful mind to be like the pure gold, purifies the defilements with the chisel of Dharma teachings. To explain this verse 127, first two lines. It's the meaning of first two lines.
맞은 타속이 배샤오데 타소와서 타속이 저기 당한 세간 상마서不是 하고와 대체가 하실려보다.
So just as a statue made of undefiled shining gold within a clay mold, so naturally free of sediments. So the statue is naturally free of the gold is naturally free of sediments. Then the wise ones know it and remove the outer clay mold. So the wise one in the simile part, so the wise one can refer to those statue maker. So they know that they make the statue. The statue is made of a pure gold, and this statue is within a clay mold, which is naturally free of sediments. And then the wise one knows that this gold statue is within a clay mold. So then the statue maker remove the outer clay mold. Similarly, the Buddha knows the pure gold-like omniscient presence, the basic element of the naturally pacified mind, and remove the obscurations of sentient beings by accomplishing the severance of the conceptuality. So the severance of the conceptuality refers to means eliminations of afflictions. Severance of the conceptuality means eliminations of afflictions. Then through explaining Dharma. Verse 128 and is under the outlines of summary. So, 21. Yeah, so the first one refers to the summary of the similes of the obscuring phenomena. So, in other words, is the simile of similes of the obscuring defilements. So previously we also talked about the similes of obstructors, right? So similes of the obstructor, the defilements. So here is the summary of these similes. So under this outline is verse 1 to 8. First, we're going to talk about the similes of the obstructor, the defilements. So verse 1 to 8, it says, within a decaying lotus, a swarm of bees, a husk, filth, earth, peel of a fruit, tattered ropes, a woman's womb, and a clay mold.
right? That deeper go dig go dig that big go. He big with that. That he big with that devil, that's our machine. He big with that bear mother, so chap water. But I'm such a dish that you should order. The meeting as well. Sabu. Certainly. That's so that digit me pay the Tata Sono. Yeah, that time did work. That digit me pay it. Something that
講嚟識差咯。
我出晒話，一啲冇講咗嘅。
digit 成啲人只不過人啦，只乜股成啲咯。只乜股人啦，只不過咯。
只不過咯，啲咯。呀，開始只係過咯，我話。那我就整個記錄啊，啲嚟㗎。我咪多新嘛。
So if you look at this verse, then you also can tell that it is a summary of what we have gone through before. So these similes of the obscuring phenomena. So in other words, is the similes of the obstructor, the defilements. So it talks about the use the simile to illustrate these 9 defilements or 9 obscurations or 9 obstructor. So basically they are referring to the same thing. 9 obscuration, 9 obstructor, or 9 defilements. So the similes are lotus, bees, hearts, filth, earth, peel of a fruit, tethered ropes, a woman's womb, and a claymore. So, and next we're going to talk about the similes of the obscured phenomena. So these obscuring phenomena, these obstructors, so it obstructs the Tathāgata essence or the Sukkata essence, which is the obscured phenomena.
That dela and the pay, Dija can't pay the another. That Dija can't pay the Tata you couldn't Tata Mandate. That's Sanji is good. Sanji is good at dancing and doing new water. Say, this Shinjumba, the change of Koloji, Jamu Purawa, or dear. They say, Surawa says, that did it.
So the next part is the similes of the obscured phenomena. So in other words, is the similes of the object of obscuration. Similes of the objects of obscuration. So objects of obscurations here refers to the basic element or the Sukkata essence. So verse 1 to 9, it says, there is a Buddha, honey, a kernel, gold, treasure, a tree, a precious statue, a wheel-turning king, and a golden image. Then, so here you can see that the nine similes of the objects of obscuration. The basic element is what is listed in the verse. So Buddha form, body, honey, grains, gold, grains or kernel, gold, treasure, tree, precious statue, wheel-turning king, and a gold form.
Good day, that kind of Mobush that don't of that. That kind of how to see that. So, Digi go, Digi pay, go, Digi pay, go. I tell you,
yeah. So here is the summary of what we have gone through before. So basically, you can understand that they are in 4 sets. 4 sets as in, there are 9 obstructors, there are 9 similes of obstructors, there are 9 objects of obscuration, and there are 9 similes of objects of obscuration. So there are 4 sets here. I repeat, the first one is there are 9 obstructors, and the second one is there are 9 similes of obstructors. The third one is there are 9 objects of obstructions, and the fourth one is there are 9 similes of objects of obstructions.
만투라서 버디 이제 세계 체련에서나 체포 소민서 디파트먼트 상지지 글로벌 유도 토야 인디요지다 난 유원시 내발라서 많이 봐 쉬어 근데 뒤지
We conclude with dedication. We dedicate these roots of virtue to the flourishing of Buddha Dharma and to the excellent happiness of all sentient beings. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha Dharma, illustrated by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live eons long, to have excellent health, and may all their enlightened activities and holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all directions. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue specifically to our beloved teacher, Gyaltsab Lama Zopa Rinpoche. May Rinpoche's holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously without any obstacle. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to world peace. May excellent happiness prevail throughout the world. May wars, conflicts, natural disaster, those disasters caused by four elements, and disaster, pandemic, diseases be pacified immediately. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who pass away, especially those who pass away because of these conditions. May all their negativities accumulated since speaking less time be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment.
다소 진행
사베게와 대된당도와 근라감배당 제바지즈 노상가와이 대베니모린도 세제쇼 장주심조린보제 마제바나 제규지 제바냐마메바양 고도배와쇼 담배바웨지다제마당 근도상모대양 대신대대다 그게제수달로지 기와니다당제라도 다와를 마제바나 제규지 제바냐마메바양 고대고도배와쇼 다와를 마제바나 제규지 제바냐마메바양 고대고도배와쇼 이제소도 주베라 치세세세 간제제르근 베모데진 가솔라소와 데소제데르로조 지데칸데 벤데마르바 간데 중에 삼베 유노카데 좀 베데진 가솔라소와 데소두제르로조 다음에 데바게세니랑도 로자자와 예세규바제랑자 시기가요 마르베 데데메바 주베게데소 용조조베드 데를 뭐지 시다 주베진직 배와라 노야무조제베 거자제 숨메제저 라마소와 데페데 마르 중에 고지고 계획되나 마교조와이 테라치노 세바제베모 지와시 이래 방외다 제조 계세신나다 계세나게 두개 라보제도 메데베 양도사베도 계산듯이 베도 요시에소 이라웨 고웨 신간데 베다데와 마르 중에니 지르세와 데제기가도에 샤베시데 바도 땡교지